Hi, Professor Amphy. This lesson will be obviously after students have been introduced to area of 2D objects. This is going to be an introduction into 3D. So I'll open it up just by saying, hi students, today we will be exploring surface area with using 2-dimensional and 3-dimensional objects. So after that, I'll introduce surface area and its definition, which is the total area of a 2 or 3-dimensional shape's surface measured in square units. And the next thing will be some of the things we can measure surface areas of include cubes, triangle pyramids, triangle prisms, cuboids, cones, and cylinders, which I have laid out here under 3D shapes. And I then would have each student come up to look and feel and touch the shapes as well. So for example, with a cuboid, you can see that the surface area is 160 centimeters squared. And if you pull this in, you can see it goes to the shape of a cuboid. But if you pull it out, you can see it split up into the different individual shapes that make up the cuboid, right? So the 4 rectangles and the 2 squares. And if you notice here, I have the area of each rectangle, area of each square on there, so they can visualize just those 2-dimensional shapes that make up the 3-dimensional shape, right? So and they can play with all of them. I mean, that's just one example of the cuboid, but they can do it with the cylinder, the cone, triangle, prism. Any of them are great representations of what we are trying to get across to the students. So I will show and explain the concept of surface area to them by having the 6 different shapes to explore before they come up to look at, feel, and touch the shapes. So we'll kind of talk about each shape and get introduced to it before they come up and play with the strings and just kind of identify what each shape is and what makes each shape up. So students will have a handout. I think, for example, some questions on it would be what shapes make up a cuboid and how many of those shapes are in the cuboid. So to answer that question, they will look at this, see, okay, there's 4 rectangles and 2 squares. And yeah, again, they can play with it, see that when you pull this string, it makes up the cuboid. And if you have it laid out, it has those 4 rectangles and 2 squares. So I think this is a great lesson to have students visualize what we mean by 2D and 3D, because I think that is a challenging topic for students to kind of grasp, especially something like when we're talking about areas and surface areas, different things like that can make this pretty complex. So I think having like something like this that they can just pull a string and see like something go from a 2-dimensional shape to a 3-dimensional shape is really a cool opportunity to show what we mean by that to the students. And then I'll have, obviously, students will have a handout asking those questions, and then just kind of as a end of the lesson, I'll ask them if they notice anything in the classroom or in their homes that is one of the shapes that we had studied in today's lesson. And then together we will find the surface area of the cube. So yeah, again, here's the cube. We can first have it in a cube form. We can see the surface area, we can see its formula, and obviously probably not give them the answer from the start, but have this laid out. And I would like to have students maybe do this as a whole group, but raise their hands, and I can prompt them questioning throughout finding the area of the cube. So yeah, and that's kind of would be the finish of my lesson introducing 3D shapes, and yeah, we will go from there. Thank you.